Hey everyone, thank you for chiming in. This next series of videos is going to be dedicated strictly to the mental health aspect that I want to share as far as what I deal with as, a combat vet, but also what I deal with as far as how easy it is for guys like me, veterans, Caucasian, bearded, soon to be tatted. We are probably the number one most mislabeled group in the United States right now. Even the name Patriot is under attack. It's being labeled as possibly white supremacist, which is unbelievable that I've been reading about this. So this segment of videos is going to show you it's going to be probably the most vulnerable I've ever been, and I'm even skeptical on even sharing it just because it's fucking terrifying, man. Reliving it and just the fear of, you know, people's thoughts, because people are fucking horrible. But where I draw some strength is just knowing that maybe somebody out there can relate, or maybe it might change one person's viewpoint, because I don't expect this to be seen by a whole lot of people. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it does make some type of difference. Um, so I've been toying around with this. The the docs and everybody is talking about, like, freaking, talking about it can help and all that other stuff, and sometimes it's better to tell stories and stuff. And the one story that I kind of want to tell here in the beginning is a little bit rough, because uh, there was a particular person that I looked at kind of like a hero, and he ended up passing. He ended up getting killed in Iraq after this deployment, and that was really, really rough for me, because like I thought this dude, like, Superman, you know. Um, while the rest of the guys were getting off at formation, this dude was going to his room studying uh, to be a PA. He was our medic. So instead of going out to the bars and going out and, like, doing stupid shit, he was being responsible and freaking going and taking care of his family. But he was also, always constantly working, constantly studying, constantly mirroring people. The reason why we became close is because when he first got to the unit, he was sent to my battery, my artillery battery at that time. Not but the artillery battery as a part of it at that time. First Sergeant Ballou was greeting him. He had been brought out to the field to join us, and basically what they tended to do was find a squared away soldier and put him with somebody. So anyways, for whatever reason, I was one of the guys picked. Now, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people talk, and say, like, yeah, I was in a great unit and all the guys were amazing. This same unit is the same unit that had gun crews that were selected to assist the special forces on ground in Afghanistan, which is coming later in this video. Um, Yeah, so uh kind of fucked up is how I ended up finding out was I had went to Iraq and I was probably not even a couple months behind him. And I found out about it in the friggin' Army Times. I'd just gotten to Iraq. We'd just gotten to the first base before we moved forward, right? And I go to the MWR and freaking there's a newspaper, Army Times, and I'm waiting for a phone to call my wife before we head forward. And there he was. He had inspired me and motivated me so much. See, he was introduced to me. I was a great soldier, and so were many around me, okay? And that's why I was. I'm very competitive, and so I was only as good, if not, in some cases with some of them, there were some of us that were, at higher levels, but for the most part, we were at that high level because all of us competed against each other, but at the same time, we were brothers, Everything. Our leadership was amazing. They constantly had us running artillery drills. Everything from breaking breaches down to friggin', some of the PT was grabbing the trails on a howitzer and completely doing a 360. Light artillery was the absolute shit. You did damn near everything any combat arms does, including fire, anywhere from 50 to 100 pound rounds, depending on what howitzer you're on. And, light artillery is air assault, airborne. You're jumping out of the back of planes. You're jumping on Black Hawks and having them, or Chinooks, and having your howitzers airdropped or lifted. It's a whole new world. So, anyway, he ended up being amazing. So, the first part of the story, the whole topic of this video is meeting up with the Special Forces, okay? And what that was like. So, I got to Afghanistan shortly after my battery got there. The battalion left at separate times, and so I was tailing behind. And once I got to Kandahar, I got there, and oh my god, that sucks, dude. I know I was meant for combat and fighting because I had to be a freaking RTO, a radio operator, in the TOC, which is like the Tactical Operations Center, or whatever, however, different military, different agencies, different people call it different things. But anyway, I was the RTO there, and we were helping with coordination. Woof. Like 12-hour shifts of staring at plywood, just listening for the radio, and then having this kind of just not burden, but this stupid lingering stress of like, oh god, I can't miss this. And you can't miss a radio check or call or anything, right? So, dude, you are just literally sitting there doing nothing for 12 hours. I remember walking to freaking chow, throwing my hand up at the sky saying, God, what the hell am I doing here? I have a pregnant wife at home. I was just married. You know, freaking, what the hell is this shit? Why am I here? Spoke too damn soon. I shit you not. Coming back from the mess hall or chow, I get back, the Sergeant Major asks to speak with me. So I go report, you know, private, Specialist Mills reporting as to order. And so he brings me in and everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm at parade rest, and he says, Mills, we're pushing you forward. You're going to join up with Bravo Battery at Oregon E, and then they have plans for you after that. So I was like, okay. And then the first thought that came to my mind, hell yes. I'm leaving this place. And I'll fast forward this along. I go to the forward base. I meet up with my old first sergeant, was a major mentor of mine, First Sergeant Blue. And of course, first thing he does, get your ass in here, Mills. Get over here, you cheats dick, you know, and freaking get in here. Yes, First Sergeant. Get into his office. Chill the fuck out. Now tell me what the hell's going on up at battalion. He was just that kind of guy. He was a hardcore motherfucker. Hardcore meaning a guy that was going on our runs like, you know, 5 or 6 miles with leg weights on and a fucking flak vest. Okay? Alright? Like, yeah. I was with real motherfuckers, okay? Not some crazy ass soft shit. We had real fucking hitters, okay? And so we get together and he tells me, well, you know, don't get too fucking comfortable because we've been attached to the 3rd Group Special Forces. We're going to be moving out to a camp that had been previously overrun, not even like a month prior or something like that, and that original spot was 500 meters from where we were setting up. Fast forward along, we find out that we have to now convoy through freaking Hell Pass, RPG Alley, everything. We have these Humvees, not up armored, soft shells open, right? You're on 249s, you're on 240s, you're on Mark 19s, you're on fucking 50 cals, and you're going through these passes watching on either side up here. Your fucking butthole is clenched so fucking tight a whistle couldn't fucking get through, okay? There's nothing like this smell of an ammo belt and then dragging that thing across and locking that sucker in on something like a 240 Bravo or an M249 or 50 cal. All of us were selected because we were, like, the guys went to 2 different camps. All the artillery guns that were sent out were, I knew this actually before leaving my prior place. Some guys that I served with might even know this, that I was with in Afghanistan. I had already heard that there was some type of thing going on where they were trying to find out who the top-notch gun crews were in the country at that time. What artillery assets did they have that were the shit at that time? So that felt amazing that, you know, that we were a part of that. And so anyways, we're going through and we get through fucking all that convoy shit. We got goddamn Cobras going, you know, overhead. I just felt like I could possibly jump up and grab the bottom of them, you know? Like, just nothing like you can, I can't describe it and be articulate enough to truly express what that was like in person. Seeing the raw might, seeing my brothers ready to rock that I knew were trained to the fucking highest ability, It's motivating, you know? And that's actually what got me through was they say you're scared as shit. I was scared, yes. I was scared. Tense, but that fear was what kept me sharp. That fear actually is what pushed me more into the fight and flight scenario. Of course, you know, obviously I responded quickly. But because of them being at such a high tempo, I always tried to emulate that tempo. I was constantly like, I will not be second place. And even if I did fall behind the guys, it was never going to stop being my goal day in and day out to make sure that these guys earn their fucking spot. Now, you know, to give you an idea, and the rest of the guys around me were at this tempo. I was great, not amazing like these other guys. And trust me, I'm no better than anybody else. I commonly hate myself, and I hate saying anything. This is like therapists' years of kicking me in the back of the head, telling me to start fucking actually taking pride in what I did in my service. I was an expert gunner on 3 different howitzers. By the time that I was an E5, as an E1, I had a badass AIT cadre NCO. He was an E7 acting as the chief. He had me as the 1908 gunner, 100-pound round, massive howitzer, towed howitzer, usually with a 5-ton vehicle. And he had me on there for that entire time. That's all I did. And then even when they took a break, he was having me still train on that freaking, on the site. I will always be thankful for that. I don't know why. I think I was randomly picked. I'm sure I was randomly picked. I was just a stupid spud squirt, 18-year-old, And I just so happened to be the lucky draw, And so he thought it'd be fun to put me with a couple other of his other cadre, and we did like a gunner's test, practice or whatever. And sure as shit, I nailed that motherfucker. And everyone knew that where I got my reputation, and I can name names to verify this information, so so people can come forward and say, hey, he's a fucking liar. Sergeant Highland knew me as an extremely fast gunner, and he's one of the main guys. Raymond Highland, he can come forward and vouch for that. I mean, Highland's the same guy that can come forward and tell you that as soon as I saw enemy tracers, it was game on, trigger squeeze, and watch your lane. Chris Bavis, Jose Chavira, David Foster, Kevin Hudson. I have a lot of guys that can definitely vouch for me on all this stuff because they were fucking amazing. It wouldn't, they were better than I was, so they wouldn't hesitate. But expert gunner, 3 howitzers, 2 light, 1 heavy, and I knew the number 1 man breach. I knew, everything, all safety protocols, all measures. I knew the full maintenance of the howitzer. I was one of the ones that freaking, when I was a PFC and we had other E2s and E1s, I remember now Sergeant Major Dasher freaking constantly putting me on the lead for these details, and we'd go to level 2 shop, and I never really did, you assist, but I got an idea of what to do, but as far as like 1 level and everything, I mean, dude, I didn't even need the manual. I just loved artillery. I did, and it was thanks to the guys next to me. They were just so driven, so passionate, and so freaking just wow, that that I had no choice. You didn't fall behind. In my time, people visited your fucking barracks room if you were a dud. Like, I don't know if it was like maybe a different time, different army or whatever, but yeah, things are a lot different. You know, you didn't get away with a lot. Duds were pushed out pretty quick, or else they were put on shitty details while the rest of the guys were doing their hardcore combat shit. Now, we're still rucking, we're still doing all the same shit, going to the ranges, you know, I mean, all the same stuff, doing combatives, everything, okay? And a lot of the guys now actually are doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the side. Justin Vance can concur with that. Now Command Sergeant, or Sergeant Major Vance, soon to be, I'm sure, Command Sergeant Major Vance. Fucking amazing guy. Is the best friend of the guy that inspired me, my hero I was talking about earlier. He knew him after I had already left Hawaii. He knew him before then, but they got super close, and I can't imagine him living with it. He's a much better soldier, much better, you know, has much more mental fortitude than I do, and so I applaud him. He's still in, he's doing amazing things, but that's what I mean. These guys are high level, great PT, you know, no bullshit, you keep up or you get out. So, this type of group meets up with the Special Forces. They tell us we have like 2 weeks to get this thing set up. One of the guys, I remember, I think his name was Steve. It was me and a couple other of the dudes, and a bunch of us were split up in different groups. We had Chinooks dropping off all types of shit. We had one Bobcat tractor, shovels, and fucking pallets of sandbags, pallets of plywood, and that's it, really. I mean, literally, we built our camp with that. All right. And Steve was like, we just got enemy comms. The Taliban commander that pushed out the last base is so confident that he can do it again. He's going to give us 2 weeks. He plans to strike in exactly 2 weeks. And so we're going to take advantage of that pride. And I tell you, when you know that the enemy is coming, I remember looking at mine and Foster's hands. We were digging sandbags. And I'll never forget the stains on our shovels. Mike Lopez too, man. Like blood. You know, your hands cracking and bleeding and shit. But when meeting the Green Berets and Special Forces, it was like a fucking huge eye-opener to a whole different world. We were ready to assist, and we were fucking proud to do so. And they took us right in. Third group was a little, you know, hazy on us. Once we got the camp set up and they got to see us in action, it was game over from there. But the third group actually left, and seventh group came in. Now, seventh group was there for the majority of the time, and those guys I met specifically, they were fucking amazing. They believed in cross-training. They had heard that we were bad motherfuckers, and sure enough, on one of their first missions, we dropped like 40 fucking rounds. And we're talking about 2 howitzers at this tiny camp, this Ford SF camp. Okay, a black camp. I mean, I don't know that we weren't classified at one time, our area. You know, now it's closed, this is past, this is gone, whatever. And I won't disclose, like, the SF guys' names and shit like that. But, friggin' first mission, we're just sitting there, and you can hear us, and I promise you, I wish we had footage. It was like, boom, 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 boom. I mean, dude, we made it seem like it was just on a nice semi-auto, just constant. I mean, dude, that's how fast we were, man. It was. I'm surprised sparks aren't coming off the canisters when we were throwing down the breach. You know, um, we had amazing gunners. Kevin um, is one of the gunners that I'll never forget. We've been under such insane fire that they thought we were dead several times. The other gun, they thought we were dead several times. We lost comms. That's how close rounds were hitting. Mortars and fucking rockets, man. Both guns. Both guns got it equally, but that's, for us, I have pictures of shrapnel from our freaking lollipop area is what we called it. Inside the area with our guns, our rounds, our fucking black powder. Okay? But they took us right in and started cross-training. Brian was the demo guy. Me, Adams, and Wilson, and I think Foster, and I'm not sure who else, but we were talking about daisy chaining claymores, about reusing the materials from explosives. We were trained on perimeter defense, proper ways to defend from a structure. Fallback plans. We had, and we had to train on multiple weapon systems. I believe we had 60s, 80s, and 120 mortars. We had recoilless rifles of all sizes. We had, RPGs, every single Soviet weapon, except for, no, we had a Dishka. We had a 14.5 millimeter Dishka, and we would use it for long range targets. Quite often we would use the 50 cal. A lot of people don't realize the range on a 12.7 or a 14.5 millimeter round. And then also the kinetic force. You would be surprised the damage if you're not, initiated. But anyways, they saved my life later on. They gave me the confidence that I needed to excel and to go into Iraq with freaking, I'm going to show this next unit I'm legit and we're going to Iraq. Let's fucking do this. Let's freaking do this. And that's what my mindset was. But 17 years later, I think I quit counting at 20. Between brothers lost overseas and then brothers lost at home, illnesses due to war, suicide. God, there for a while it seemed like somebody was dying every month. But this one's run its course. I'm going to do a part 2 of it. This is part of a mental health thing. So, I'll try to keep it going. I'm not sure when the next one will be. This kind of stuff is not easy. You know what I mean? So anyways, I really appreciate you checking it out. If anyone does, it's... But I appreciate the support, and I'll see you for the next one.